Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robyn from Impact Consulting, and Benji and Tommy are here to talk about sort of a little bit about the case study, if you like, of a local business in the food and beverage industry, which I think Dario and Laurence and Florian have really given us some great ideas and food for thought. I moved here 7 years ago, and coming from Brussels, the food and beverage arena, if you like, or array or offering was very different to what it is now. And we've seen lots of changes in what we have available to us. And I think it's very interesting to consider the difference in looking at the possibilities for a startup in the food and beverage industry as compared to services and technology. But I think that this is and you listen to the startups that we've just been presented with, there's so much opportunity in this area for Malta. But for our non-Maltese visitors, I'd really like, Tommy, if you could, please, just to give a little bit of an understanding to all of the concept and the history behind
Okay.
New York Best.
Easiest way to explain it is New York Best, or NYB for short, is a multi-outlet brand. Obviously, through the name, it's based on Americana, but with a very European twist, which is why we chose New York, which is the most European of American cities. It's pizza, burgers, hot dogs, and shakes. We were the first to introduce meat-served medium burgers in Malta, on the island, so we got a bit pigeonholed as a burger joint, which we're not, because it's pizza, burgers, hot dogs, and shakes, in an industrial chic space with curated music, and everything is made from scratch with a very close relationship with our suppliers, basically.
And what was your dream when you thought about New York Best? What was it that you were looking to create? What was it?
I wanted to bring a homegrown passion to Americana fast food.
Yeah.
Simple. I come from an old school catering family, so by shaming my grandmother by opening a hot dog pizza joint, at least we're gonna do it right. So we kept learning. There was a huge learning curve. So when we first started, we wanted good beef. Then we had to understand cattle breeds and cattle cuts and cattle ages and cattle diets. So it was my brother's passion, myself's passion kept growing and learning.
And just especially to those who don't know about New York Best, tell us about sort of where you started and the time that it's taken now to where you are now.
We started in 2012. We opened a tiny outlet outside of the University of Malta using industrial scraps. We managed to put it together with absolutely no capital, and as I said earlier, we were the first to offer a medium burger, so there was quite a bit of hype, and then we just opened an outlet every year for the next 5 years.
Yeah, so I think most people have tried it, so it's really interesting. And the people behind the marketing strategy, Benji and the Anchovy team. So Benji, just tell us a little bit about the strategy, what you believe has contributed to the success of New York Best.
When we started off with New York Best, it was actually the same time we founded Anchovy, so it was a nice partnership because both companies were growing at the same time. But when we started off with New York Best, budget obviously was low because it was a startup, so we decided to just keep everything online. And our biggest aim was to build a community of core fans that really kind of believed in the product and the whole story. And one of the biggest driving points was, I mean, everyone likes to look at good food and everyone likes to eat good food. So it was really kind of playing on that and kind of tapping into their emotions and kind of pushing the right photography at the right time. In the beginning, I mean, there was a lot of failures and a lot of kind of back and forth of what content should be pushed out. And after a while, it kind of started to click and really work. But we really tried to engage with the audience and try to get them to upload and be part of the kind of the journey on social media.
And so what is the result at the moment? What's this current situation on that marketing strategy, the social media?
Well, I mean, it's actually quite funny because in the beginning we used to do, when the agency had just started off, Tommy and myself used to do a lot of work together, and we used to do a lot of work then with the agency. But as time passed on, we actually noticed that most of the core photography and the core content needs to actually come out of.
Speak up, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
It needed to actually come out of kind of Tommy's world, because he was actually in the store there every single day. But that's not scalable, and you can't really build a franchise from that. So what we did from day one was encourage a lot of the customers to kind of upload their own photography, and a lot of the content that's pushed out is actually recurated content. And I think that was one of the biggest strategies on the marketing side.
How many fans do you have, or likes do you have with your Facebook page, Tommy?
Like 45,000 for NYB and 20,000 for the new brand Fat Louis.
Yeah. I mean, this is, I think, something that we really wanted to talk about now is Tommy has a prospectus for investment to expand the brand internationally, and talking about how you can scale up this amazing fan base and success in a small Mediterranean island of Malta, and take that to London, for example. Tommy, can you talk a little bit about what you think is going to be the element of success for you there? Or what is it that you must have sort of a plan?
It's a bit lazy to say that for us to have managed to open 4 outlets with a population of 500,000. Imagine what we could do in a European city, because that's a bit of a lazy way to tackle it. It's a tough question.
Benji, do you have any insights there? I mean, like, how do you, from a marketing perspective, a brand perspective, how do you take this look?
Honesty. The obsession, the passion, the story, just telling the honest story of 2 brothers, 20-something-year-old brothers, and learning and growing and getting to the stage where we almost produce everything from scratch to the tiniest detail. I can tell you the age of my cattle, sex, breed, distance it's traveled, and the honest detail and passion comes through our marketing, because we're just storytelling what we're doing. We're not with the failures and all. So
I don't know if any of you have been to Fat Louis, but it's amazing. And Tommy there, when he talks about that first beast that he killed, that was the first, it's really quite a story. So yeah, so Benji,
the story is the most important thing, and that's why we had come up with the tagline, "There's always time for New York Best," because Tommy was always from the very beginning very much against delivery. So New York Best and Fat Louis don't deliver at the moment. That's why the whole concept of the marketing was "There's always time for New York Best." So if you really want a burger, just get off your ass and go pick it up, as opposed to just waiting for it to come
and
to the door.
listen to our music and sit in our stores and meet our staff.
Yeah, and kind of it's not just about eating the burger; it's about the experience. So obviously that, even though we're moving into a direction where delivery is becoming extremely important, unfortunately with that you lose a lot of the brand, and you're just eating another burger with another packaging. So I think that moving to another country obviously is going to have to see New York Best change, and it needs to kind of move into this sphere, and we are in talks of how to, let's say, get the product delivered to your door, but then that means that the packaging needs to change, a lot of things needs to kind of be twisted.
So what are your plans for the short term, medium term, Tommy? I mean, obviously expansion, but
we're looking at a couple of smaller units locally. And we're in talks with a few people about starting with 1 unit in a European city, which I can't disclose as of yet. We're almost there. So it's going to be quite an adventure, because running 5 outlets here within the harbour area, which is maybe an average of 6 kilometers between each outlet in a space we really know, compared to doing it in a European city with populations of 3-4 million in a whole new space, is going to be quite an adventure, but we're ready for it. We're really looking forward to it.
Benji, what do you think has been, you've obviously worked with a number of companies at a startup level, and yourselves have been one as well. What do you think is sort of a key success factor, particularly from what you've seen as well with what Tommy's going through with his business and yourselves?
for me, the most important thing is just being stubborn. And I mean, if you have an idea, it's just sticking to it. There's a lot of people on the way that will try to knock you down and change it and try to change the way you think of the idea. And everyone's going to tell you, no, it can't be done, or this or that. But you need to be really stubborn. Because if you're not, because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you're trying to do it for the long term. And like something we have internally is called mini wins. So it's constantly trying to achieve mini goals as opposed to those big goals, and just doing it every single day.
Tommy?
Don't take things too seriously. It's a game. Enjoy it. Like, don't take things too seriously. It's a game. Play it. Enjoy it. The bad times and the good. Learn from the bad. Enjoy the good while they're there. And just passion.
I think we heard from the team talking about the ecosystem this morning. Some of the things that you're talking about really came out then as well, with regards to stick to what you want to do and your goal. And it can be very easy to get sidetracked along the way. But I think that it's been really interesting talking to you. And this is, for me, something that, since meeting Tommy, I've met Tommy purely because of this opportunity, and it's been a really great experience. And I'm really inspired by your passion and commitment to something like your Fat Louis and the beef and the cattle, as Florian and Laurence and Dario were saying. This is a business that some people may look at a burger on a plate, but there's so much more that goes into it than that. So thank you for talking today. Stay seated, because we're going to have the rest of the team join, but I think we have an introduction coming forward. So thank you very much. Thanks, Tommy. Thanks, Benji.